So I probably spend about 90% of my time on this channel just talking about Steam games. Not even PC games, just literally Steam games, whether that's pickups, games that are looming on the horizon, sales that are happening, genre lists, or whatever. But you know what I've never really done? I've never really done a video just talking about the things that I really appreciate about the Steam platform itself. Because frankly, Steam has a lot of really cool features that really do give it an edge over purchasing games someplace else, like console, or streaming, or any other marketplace for that matter. So that's what today's video is all about, are some of the features, or I guess just some of the niceties about the Steam platform that I've really come to appreciate over the past few years. Because even though I've been on Steam for over a decade at this point, it wasn't really until the last couple of years when the Steam Deck became a thing that I really started to dive in full force and really take full advantage of everything that it has to offer. And I figured I would kind of break this down into two distinct sections, the first being your profile and community features, and then the second being, store and library features. So all that being said, let's just go ahead and start off with your profile, which is the place that establishes your presence on Steam, and the thing that your friends are going to check out if they want to check in on you on the platform. First off, I absolutely love all of the silly ways that you can customize your profile. Here's what mine looks like, but you have so much flexibility to showcase your personality, games, or achievements. Aesthetically, you can change your avatar, profile background, mini profile theme, featured badges, showcases. I mean, there's just a massive amount of options at your disposal, and I love hopping in periodically and making changes even if I don't think that many people look at it. And comparing all of this to the relatively meager options on PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch to express yourself, it's pretty incredible just how much you can do here. And if you go into the Steam Point Shop, there's a lot of really interesting backgrounds and themes you can snatch up. I personally love the Ghost in the Machine profile from last year, and I really do hope they just keep putting out more because these are completely gorgeous. Oh, and on the subject of those points, I love that it's a currency you get for spending money or contributing to the community, which kind of gives me a nice segue into talking about how much I appreciate game hubs on Steam. Because beyond aesthetics, as a Steam user, you can also contribute to the culture of Steam by sharing your artwork, screenshots, videos, guides, or whatever. Personally, I had shared my YouTube videos at one point, but weirdly in the course of making this video I found my channel was unlinked, and apparently there's some bug preventing it for the time being, but here's hoping I can start sharing videos again there at some point in the future. And for a lot of the contributions you make, these get tied directly into each game's hub. If you click on Community at the top of the Steam interface and then search in the Find Hubs field for a particular game, then when you pull up its hub, you can find pretty much everything you'd need to know about that game grouped into one convenient location, from fan creations to reviews and discussion. And in that way, I think this is one of those standout features that really sets Steam apart. Not that there aren't similar features in some other marketplaces, but Steam seems to be the most streamlined and well organized by far. Putting aside a game's community, which may be full of people you don't really know, Steam does make it sickeningly easy to connect with your friends. Not just to hang out and send messages, but the right-click contextual menu appears in all of the right spots and has exactly the functionality that you would want. Whether that's renaming them to more easily identify your best buds in a sea of online gaming friends, or just to instantly hop into a multiplayer lobby they're already hosting. Beyond your profile and community functionality, there are also a lot of nice features that make shopping for games on the Steam Marketplace really enjoyable, not the least of which is the wishlist functionality. Now, wishlists are nothing new, and just about every online retailer of games or otherwise has some version of this available to keep an eye on things that you want but you're not quite ready to buy yet. But Steam's approach is really pleasing to interact with for a few reasons. First, and probably my favorite, is that you can sort your wishlist by some extremely underrated metrics. Sure, you can sort by name or price, but you can also sort by discount percentage if you want to hold out until a game gets unbelievably cheap, or if you're just out to bargain shop in the most efficient way, snatching up games that are 80% off versus those that are, say, 10% off. But beyond raw cost savings, you can also sort by your own personal ranking if you want, and carefully curate your wishlist to have the games you're most rabid about at the top, and the nice to have but not need to have games listed at the bottom. Or maybe you prefer to sort your list by top selling so you can get an idea what the popularity is like for the games that were already on your radar. And my personal favorite way to sort the wish list is by date added, and the reason for that is a lot of people make recommendations in the comments, and then what I do is I immediately add those games to my wish list. This way I can pretty quickly sort out what some of the most recent recommendations were, and then after I go ahead and check those out, then I can kind of, search through the YouTube comments to remember who actually recommended that game and go ahead and put together a video about it. Suffice to say, they sure do make it easy for you to buy stuff, and that's a win for players, developers, publishers, and, well, Valve, of course. Beyond wishlist functionality, I also really like how there was a never-ending stream of events and sales going on, which makes every time Steam loads up kind of exciting. Naturally, we expect there to be seasonal sales, but publisher sales pop up on a regular as well, which is great if you're on a mission to load up on a specific series, like say Resident Evil, for example. They're also really good about doing regular events that showcase games without necessarily hard selling you. For instance, Next Fest is going on right now, which highlights a bunch of upcoming games that you can stay on top of, and it's not uncommon to see events like this that focus on a particular genre as well, like horror or stealth games, for example. Outside of the wishlist and regular events, there are also a lot of thoughtful little touches that make it a breeze to interact with the Steam marketplace. For instance, sales pages for games often have videos that play, and it respects your choice audio preference across all of them. So if you mute or unmute a video on one game that you're checking out, it remembers that, and every time you go to another game, it maintains your choice. That's super helpful because Lord knows, unexpected audio when browsing any web-based content can be jarring at best and super annoying at worst. And finally, for all of the ways that Steam is great at taking my money, they're also pretty good about giving it back too, thanks to a refund system that I've always found to be really approachable. Generally, you can get a refund for a game if it's within 14 days of purchase, and if it's been played for less than 2 hours. But here's the thing, Valve has always been pretty understanding, and requesting a refund feels like an actual human is reviewing the request, rather than some soulless automated system. Personally, I rarely refund games, but one notable example of Valve showing mercy to me personally is when I bought the Metal Gear Solid Collection a few months ago. I was working my way through a few of the titles to feature in a video, and found that I think it was Metal Gear Solid 2 was having trouble on the Steam Deck. Technically, I was a bit beyond the 2-hour play session thanks to having spent a fair amount of time on the original Metal Gear Solid, but they were cool with it and still honored my refund request despite the extended playtime. That they're willing to throw you a bone from time to time is definitely a huge incentive to buy or redeem my games on Steam versus another marketplace where they might be more stringent about that sort of thing. Overall, Steam really does end up feeling more like an ecosystem than just a marketplace to buy games, and I think a large part of that is because it has so many well thought out, tightly integrated features that aren't just helpful for being social, but also for just really enjoying the marketplace experience and just sanding down a lot of the rough edges that tend to plague other marketplaces. So with all of that in mind, I don't think it's surprising that most people consider Steam to be the PC gaming marketplace, and I don't expect it's going to be dethroned anytime soon. And I'm sure there are a ton of useful features that I either straight up forgot or are just so seamlessly integrated into the Steam experience that I have literally started to take them for granted. So what about you? Are there any notable features that you just really appreciate about using Steam? If so, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. As far as what's coming up on the channel soon, we will be doing some PS2 emulation stuff next week, which as somebody who grew up alongside the PlayStation brand, I am very excited to make that video. And then beyond that, I will be doing a video that is a sharp contrast to this one where I actually talk about some ways where the Xbox wins out over Steam for me. Not a lot, but there are a few edge cases where I found myself gravitating more towards the Xbox platform and buying my digital games through Microsoft rather than Steam, but we'll get to that later. For now, as always, thank you so much for your time and hanging out here on the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.